Betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from those you trust most. I learned that the hard way. My name is Jacob. And once, I believed loyalty was unbreakable. I believed hard work always paid off. I believed best friends would never stab you in the back. But I was wrong. So very wrong. Chase and I had been inseparable since college. We shared late nights, impossible dreams, and half-baked business plans written on napkins. He had the charm, the charisma, the confidence. I had the patience, the discipline, the quiet focus. Together, we felt unstoppable. At least, that's what I thought. When we finally got the chance to start working together, I was thrilled. All those dreams were finally becoming reality. I stayed late every night. I pored over numbers, designs, and strategies. I skipped weekends, meals, and even sleep. Chase? He showed up in crisp suits, delivered smooth jokes, and shook hands like he was already a CEO. "Relax, Jake," he'd laugh. "You worry too much, people want energy, not spreadsheets." And maybe he was right, at first. Because slowly, people stopped noticing me. When clients came around, they only saw Chase. When partners praised the work, it was his name on their lips. When applause filled the room, it was his bow they rewarded. I told myself it didn't matter. We were a team, after all. The spotlight didn't matter as long as the dream stayed alive. But deep down, it hurt. It hurt to be invisible. It hurt to watch someone I called brother steal the shine from work I bled for. And then came the day that shattered everything. A big pitch. One we had worked on for weeks. I had built the foundation, the data, the slides, the model that could make or break us. The morning of the presentation, Chase slapped me on the back. "You handle the techie stuff," he grinned. "I'll dazzle them with a story, don't worry, bro, we've got this." I nodded, trusting him one last time. But as he stepped onto that stage, my blood ran cold. Word by word, slide by slide, he delivered my work. My research. My concepts. My vision. As if they were his own. He didn't just take the spotlight. He stole my voice. The audience leaned in. Investors nodded. Applause thundered through the room. And Chase basked in it, smiling like a king. I sat frozen, every clap echoing like a dagger. When it ended, he shook hands, laughed, and accepted congratulations meant for me. He didn't look back. Not once. That night, I confronted him. "Why, Chase?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Why would you do that?" He smirked, sipping his drink like it was nothing. "Because, Jacob," he said coldly, "people want a leader, not a worker. They want me, not you." His words cut deeper than the betrayal itself. I realized then, he had never seen me as a partner. Only as a stepping stone. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling until sunrise, replaying the scene in my mind. His smirk. Their applause. My silence. And then something inside me snapped. I had a choice. Keep being invisible. Or rise. Not with anger. Not with revenge. But with truth. And in that decision, the suspense of my story truly began. Because while Chase thought he had won, he had no idea I was just getting started. The days after the betrayal felt like drowning. I walked through meetings like a ghost, invisible while Chase collected every ounce of glory. But behind my silence, something was building. A storm. I began to gather proof. Every note. Every draft. Every email with my name attached to the work he claimed as his. Late at night, I'd sit alone at my desk, staring at the glowing screen. I wasn't just planning a comeback. I was preparing for war. Not the kind with fists or shouting. But the kind where truth becomes the sharpest weapon of all. Still, doubt gnawed at me. What if no one believed me? What if Chase was right, that people only wanted the showman, not the worker? One evening, my mentor, an old professor, saw the weight on my shoulders. He looked me in the eye and said, "Jacob, The loudest voice doesn't always win, sometimes it's the steady one that lasts. Those words lit a spark. The next opportunity came sooner than expected. A second pitch, even bigger than the first. And Chase, arrogant as ever, thought he had me cornered. "Same plan as last time," he said smugly. "You keep quiet, I'll handle the stage." But this time, I didn't nod. I looked him straight in the eyes. "No, Chase," I said firmly. "I'll be speaking, my work deserves my voice." For a second, he froze. Then he laughed. "You think they'll listen to you? You're nothing without me." But deep down, I saw the flicker of fear in his eyes. The night of the pitch, the room buzzed with energy. Chase strutted in, smiling, ready to steal the show again. But when the lights dimmed, I stepped forward. I spoke clearly. I presented confidently. And I let the truth shine through every word. Gasps filled the room. Questions flew, directed at me, not him. For the first time, they saw me. Not as a shadow. Not as a worker. But as the mind behind the vision. Chase tried to interrupt. He cut in with empty jokes and flashy lines. But the investors brushed him off. Their eyes were locked on me. And when I finished, the applause shook the walls. It was louder than the first time. Only this time, it was mine. Chase's face went pale. He forced a smile, but the room had shifted. Everyone could see through him now. The mask had cracked. That night, he cornered me. "You think this changes anything?" he hissed. "They'll forget you tomorrow, I'll always be the name they remember." I took a deep breath. "No, Chase," I said calmly. "They'll remember the truth, and the truth doesn't fade." His smirk faltered. For the first time, he had no words. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Calls and offers came pouring in, directed to me, not him. People wanted the real deal. Not the illusion. Chase tried to salvage his reputation, but the damage was done. His arrogance had burned too many bridges. And without me doing his work, he had nothing left to stand on. Slowly, he disappeared from the spotlight. And I rose. Not with revenge. Not with hatred. But with quiet, undeniable success. Looking back, I realized the betrayal was never my ending. It was my beginning. It pushed me into the light I'd been avoiding. It taught me that sometimes, the greatest gifts come disguised as pain. And now, when people ask about Chase, I don't talk about betrayal. I talk about growth. Because he may have stolen a moment. But I claimed a lifetime. And that's the truth betrayal can never erase. So if you've ever been broken, if you've ever been overlooked, if you've ever felt invisible, remember this. Your silence doesn't mean weakness. Your pain doesn't mean defeat. It means your rise is coming. And when it does, the world won't just see you. They'll remember you. Because the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's success. It's peace. It's becoming everything they said you never could. And when that moment comes, the applause will be yours. Not theirs. This was my story. Jacob's story. But it could be yours too. So tell me, are you ready to rise? If this story inspired you, don't just stop here, subscribe, share, and stay with me for more stories of resilience, betrayal, and triumph, because sometimes, the darkest betrayal is only the first step toward the brightest success.